Well, howdy y'all. How many times have we heard the saying that there's nothing like a homegrown tomato? Well, I have a new saying. There's nothing like homemade potato chips. So let's face it, to be able to find a bag of chips that does not use those awful oils such as soybeans, such as vegetable, canola, grapeseed, all those terrible oils, it's very hard to find a bag of chips that does not contain that, unless there are certain brands, but let's face it, they're expensive. But in this recipe, we're going to be using avocado oil. Now, if you've watched how to make potato chip videos in the past, you might notice that a lot of people give you a bunch of different steps that, contains an ice water bath, then blanching them in vinegar, then, all these other, time-consuming steps. But what you're doing when you do that is you're washing away a lot of that good potato flavor. You're just washing it away. And yes, these do not look like your average potato chip. They're a little bit more brown, but that's okay. I actually like it. It looks rustic. And it still gives you that satisfying, delicious crunch. Too good. Alright, so step one to make the delicious homemade potato chip is just to peel your potatoes. Now I'm just using classic russet. Many people have other potatoes, as they say, that work better, but I can't find those, so I just use classic russet. Okay, so step two is just to grab a strainer and then grab a mandolin slicer or some other potato slicer and just go to town. Now I like mandolin slicers, but the potatoes just still seem too thick to be a potato chip, so I use a potato skinner and I just run it across just like that, and it's very, very thin. Please be careful if you do try this, but I find this is the best method. So when I'm using the potato skinner, sometimes the cuts can become uneven, so I just alternate between the potato skinner and then the mandolin slicer just to make sure it comes out all even. Okay, so step three is just to wash your taters. I find this is the most effective to get the starch out, is just to sit there and just run it under cold water and just wash it as long as I can to try to get all that starch out. Okay, so after they've been washed, we're just going to put them on a towel or paper towels and then just let them dry. The longer you let them dry, the better, but they don't have to be completely bone dry. Up next is just heating up our oil. You can use a thermometer to get the exact temperature, but I just like to drop one potato in there, and if it starts to bubble, then I know that it's close to being ready to fry. Now that our oil is up to temperature, we're just going to be dropping our potatoes in there one by one and just letting them fry. So as they're frying, you're just going to every so often take a look at them and give them a little bit of a stir just to make sure that some of them get flipped over, make sure that both sides are done. You'll want to stir them every 3 to 5 minutes. So the cook time varies on how many chips you put in there. The more chips you put in there, the longer it's going to take to cook. So after the chips are crispy and golden brown, you're just going to take them out one by one and put them into a strainer to let the excess oil drain out. Next, just add a pinch of salt, give them a good shake, and then pour them into an airtight container. And that's all there is to it. If you keep these on the counter in an airtight container, they should last about 3 days. Well, y'all, that's how simple and fast that recipe is. I think the longest part is just waiting for them to actually fry up, but you can go do something else while you're waiting for that to happen. But you can look at different flavor ideas if you prefer barbecue or whatever flavor you're looking for. You can look up different recipes for that. I've done barbecue before. I just like plain old Himalayan salt, and it's just delicious. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys try it. It will satisfy that crunchy potato chip craving almost all of us have. So until next time, keep swimming upstream.